right, welcome to the Athletes Grind, presented to you by Five Star Athletics. We got a special guest today getting started. We got Coach Sloan from Coconut Creek High School. Coconut Creek High School takes on St. Thomas this Friday night, 7:30 for in the regional final. See who goes on to the next level. Coach Sloan, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing today?
Pretty good, man. How are you? How about yourself?
I'm doing well, Coach Sloan. I'm doing great now that we got you here. So listen, Coach, we're gonna jump right into it. And before we do, we were just talking about how Coconut Creek is a little, well, not a little, but a lot overlooked. Remaining one of two, I believe, remaining teams, public teams, Broward County public school teams remaining in the playoffs right now, along with Monarch. Coach, if you can go through, your history of coaching at Coconut Creek High, how you got there, just give us a little history about yourself before we move forward.
Yeah, you got it. I kind of broke up for a minute, so I ain't get to hear the question. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. So just a little bit of history about yourself, leading your way up into Coconut Creek High School, where you stand today. Just your basically your coaching foundation, your background.
I played at FAU for 2004 under Howard Snellenberger. And then from then, I just, always been around the game. I got 5 kids. So when my kids were smaller, my wife kind of wanted me at home, so I couldn't really coach how I wanted to. So I got the opportunity when I went from middle school and started teaching in high school and started coaching with Coach Cox at Creek when he first came. And just started my foundation as a D-line coach. And, I played DN, and that was where my bread and butter was at. So just being technically sound at that end, and then just getting the opportunity just to, to build a young man, build these young boys up to be young men. And that was just always my going, what I wanted to do. So when I got an opportunity when Coach Cox left to take over Creek, me and Coach Jared decided to do it together. So Coach Jared, my right-hand man, and then, all the coaches I had in, when we came in, they all stayed together. So I had my same coaching staff the last 4 years since I've been here, and we just work well together. So it's not a lot about me. It's more about them and how they support, me and the team. So that's what it is.
And I'll be remiss without asking. You got a legendary coach that you played under, Coach Snellenberger. You talked about that. Coach, when before you got into coaching, did you see something at FAU to say, hey, you know what? I want to lead a group of men myself. I think it's, a great thing to do. What got you into coaching?
First of all, the love of football, right? And then the second part is just knowing from when I came from high school to go to college, I didn't know that when I got to college. It's like I just started over from scratch. So I was like, you know what I mean? So when I went to going to high school, I want them to have a upper hand of getting all the college type coaching I got at a high school level. So I kind of run my team as if, we were in college, from the film study to the weight room to the look of the technical stuff. So that's what I want to instill, and I just feel like it gives them a head up going into college and knowing what they expect.
Absolutely, and Coach, you're talking about college level coaching that the Coconut Creek team is getting right now, and Coach, we know recruiting never stops, right? So recruiting never stops at the college level. Recruiting never stops now at the high school level. It kind of seems like you're talking a little bit to those recruits, and I kind of want to get it a little open as well. So, is that what before we start talking about St. Thomas? If a player wanted to transfer to Coconut Creek High School, we're not saying that you're requesting that, but if a player wanted to transfer to Coconut Creek High School, is that what they would get? And also, what else would they get? What else would they get if they were to transfer to Coconut Creek High School to play football for you and your staff?
I think the biggest thing that they'll get is family and love. I think a lot of programs, I don't see them doing it on our level. I ain't got no shots or nothing, but I just know that we take care of our boys. And for me and my coaching staff, it's no I'm not looking to go nowhere else. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to coach in college. My coaching staff is not. So our our focus is on the boys, and that's it. The boys we have. So it's no enticing me or my staff to go somewhere else. It's just about coaching our boys and just being around them and loving on them and just trying to help them, get that success that they can get not only in high school but at the next level. I need them to be good men. Like this football thing gonna last forever. I want them to be able to go off to school and get a good education and get something like to change they whole generation. Our young black men don't always have that opportunity, and I want to be the catalyst to put them in those positions to better their life and their family life beyond the football thing. I just need good men.
Absolutely. 100% agree with your coach. And talking about Coconut Creek High School, again, we were talking about how Coconut Creek is really overlooked. I believe that game against Chaminade, who's actually ranked number 2 in the country right now, that game that you played them really, really tough, that really put Coconut Creek on the map, where to say, hey, you know what? Coconut Creek is a great high school, is a great program, so to speak. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, Coach. But, just kind of wrapping up that recruiting piece, for the players coming into Coconut Creek High School, if they were to come, Coach, right? You talked about a family atmosphere. You talked about not going anywhere and being there. And we don't have a lot of that consistency, right now in Broward County, where you have the coaches stand at one place, besides, of course, the private schools. And we talked about, Coconut Creek being one of 2 high schools remaining that's still in the playoffs right now. But, what does that speak to, Coach? Your consistency, when you have a consistent coaching staff, what does that speak to when you have a principal that believes in you and you have people that stand at the program and you have kids coming through? What is that all about, Coach? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, it takes the village. It just ain't on me. My coaching staff does a good job and we coach hard, you know what I mean? So you come to Creek, you're going to get coached hard, and that's part of it. But you're going to get loved on. You're going to get treated fair. I'm not giving no promises, but you will get your opportunity. But that's what I want you to know. I want you to know that education going to be important. Getting in the classroom is important. I got progress reports every week, and me and my staff, we handle that. Like, if I got to go talk to teachers, if I need to, sit you down for a quarter, that's part of it. And I just think it's building the whole person. I just need them to know that, what I mean, it's not just about football; it's about everything. Because I believe how you do anything is how you do everything. So I think that's where we differ from a lot.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Coach. And now jumping on the field, Coach, we're talking about how your program, it was always a great program. I believe so. You're talking about Chaminade right now and putting really Coconut Creek on the map to say, hey, you know what, Coconut Creek can play with the big boys. But talk a little bit about that game, Coach, how you got prepared for that game. That was a big game, and how you can use some of those tools to get prepared to face St. Thomas, who's ranked number 10 in the country in the regional final right now.
I think the first thing, when we lost to St. Thomas last year, 59-14, my whole goal was to be playing St. Thomas in the 3rd round this year. So everything leading up to that came to this. But our preparation, summer, the reason I put Gainesville high on the schedule is because of this game. The reason I put Chaminade on the schedule, it was because of this game. I needed them to be battle tested before we see them in the playoff. So I think we're battle tested, and I didn't, and I always tell them, I don't need them to get too high or too low. We play our game and we played our standard. So our standard was always set high. So to everybody else, it looks like we played over our head to compete with Chaminade. But all it is just playing our standard. We ain't do nothing outside of what we always do. It's just our preparation and leading up to this. This is where we have to be. So going into to Friday's game, it's the same thing. I just need them to play at their standard, not nothing more. We ain't got to do nothing extra. We ain't got to get 100 turnovers. Like, we don't have to be exceptional. We just got to play our game. So
And talking about that Chaminade game, Coach, you were able to get some turnovers that game. You're able to pressure the quarterback up the middle. Looking at a little bit of that film, I'm not asking for your game plan or anything like that because we're still a couple of days away, right?
yeah.
But do you think that is one of the keys to the game is to get pressure, whether it be up the middle? We know that they like to get on the edge a little bit with number 1 and number 25. What do you think some of the keys are to a win for Coconut Creek on Friday night at 7:30?
I told my defense, this is what I told my defense. We got to create turnovers. Like I feel like to beat St. Thomas, I'm gonna need some turnovers, right? I gotta stop 1 and 20. I gotta start the backfield. I gotta start the run. I gotta slow it down. But not to do a whole lot. It ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't gotta bring in something new or different. You know what I mean? We just gotta play our game and just be disciplined and sound. I think that's important to me. Just playing discipline ball. And I had to ask my boys, as long as y'all trust me, we good. I just need them to trust me. You ain't got to do nothing extra. I don't need you to be Superman out there. Just trust me and do your job. So that's where we at.
Right. And a couple questions more about that, coaches. They rely heavily on their running game. They rely on their offensive line. I personally think that's what it's going to come down to is their offensive line versus your defensive line. And coach, when you talk about your defensive line getting pressure up the middle and your cornerbacks being able to tackle on the outside, what are you going to need specifically from your DBs to ensure that, hey, they maintain the passing game as well as they come up and start laying some wood on number 1 and number 25?
First of all, just stick to the game plan, first of all, right? Second, we got to be able to make tackles. Number 1, break tackles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't no secret about it. Like, he run hard. I told my D-line, they O-line, they stay on blocks. They good at that, you know what I mean? So we got to get off the ball. I teach getting off the ball. That's what we good at. So we got to get off the ball. I feel like we got to change the line of scrimmage. But we got to make tackles and wrap up. It's just fundamental stuff, not extra stuff. It's fundamental. And it's just playing sound and disciplined ball. Knowing that this game going to be long. This ain't no, winning in no quarter game. I feel like it's going to be a long game. And we got to withstand.
Right. And talking about being a long game, coach, Ely was kind of able to hold them down, so to speak, the first quarter into the second quarter. But, again, they went back to their running game and they were able to kind of just break Ely down throughout the game. But we talked a little bit about special teams, coach. They they are able to kind of when you do get a stop against them, they able to flip the field with their great punting game. Coach, do you? And again, I'm not asking for your game plan, but do you think that is something that you want to pressure their punting game? When you get them in a 3 and out or get them in a punting situation, how does that look? Because again, when they're flipping the field, now you got to go 80 yards, you got to go 90 yards in order to get some points on the board. So, do you think anything will come from Coconut Creek in the special teams game where you're putting pressure on the punting game or you're putting pressure on the kicking game?
I don't know. I know that we can't let them dominate us on that phase of the game. Right. Offense and defense, yeah, we understand the X and O's, but they do well at special teams. And last year, they destroyed us in that phase of the game. So that is important. Like, we stressed a lot about special teams this week. You know what I mean? So I just can't get killed in that phase of the game. I want to win special teams. I think if I can win special teams, I got an advantage. So that's big in what we do.
Right. And as we wrap it up here, Coach, we're looking at your offense. You like to run the ball out of 4 wide receiver sets and things of that nature. That really kind of minimizes how many people are in the box that you have to run against. But again, I'm not asking for your game plan, but are we going to see more of that running out of the 4 wide receiver set? Because when St. Thomas played Monarch was able to go down the field on the one-on-ones. You've seen everything that I've seen. So, what can we expect out of your offense, Coach? Let's just leave it at that. What can we expect out of your offense going against St. Thomas?
We're gonna play hard. I think we got a real good game plan going for it. Like you said, I seen the same thing you seen,
Right.
and vice versa. You know what I mean? That's how this game goes. So it's exposing what we can, and it's taking what they give us. So that's it. And I just tell my boys, we ain't gotta duplicate what somebody else do. We just gonna take what they give us, and that's it. And if we successful in that end, I think we'll be successful overall.
Right. And finally, what do you need from the Coconut Creek fans? You know, the game is at St. Thomas Friday at 7:30. You know, your fans have seen that you do play close games against, you know, top tier teams and things of that nature. You're on a 6-game winning streak. What do you need from the Coconut Creek fans to help support you and your boys to bring that win home?
First of all, get to the game on time. Second, just be there, rally behind us. St. Thomas had they crowd and they travel well and they bring a good out. And I just want, our fans to come up and just show up. Because the boys gonna show up and we need that support and we feed off it. So I love our community. I love our fans. I just want them to be there with us as we take this journey. As we already made history by playing in the 3rd round, I just want them to be there this whole journey.
Right. And Coach, I'm gonna give you the opportunity. Is there anything that you would like to say, besides the fans? Anything you need? Any shout outs you want to give to the Coconut Creek supporters around the country? Or what? The floor is yours now, Coach. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to get off your chest?
First of all,
trash talking. Whatever you want to do, Coach.
So now look. First, shout out to my wife, man, holding me down and my kids down. And these seasons get long, and she got to deal with me being out the house all the time and wondering when I'm coming home because I'm at practice or film. So shout out to my wife and all the other wives on my coaching staff for dealing with us through this whole season. I think second is just I want to shout out to my coaches, for the grind, the dedication, and all the stuff that, they went through and have to endure. And we don't get paid like that, you know what I mean? Yep. And I know on the other side of the field, if you look at St. Thomas, just to talk real, St. Thomas got like 40 coaches, you feel me? Mm-hmm. And they get stipends every 2 weeks. They get paid, right? My coaches don't do that. My coaches do it out of love for the game, love for the boys, and just, that's grind. And I felt like we always got it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to know that this ain't because of some job thing. This ain't because we getting paid to do this. We doing this for the love of the game and to keep it going and to support our boys and get them on the next level. So that's what it's about for us. So we take it personal because we doing everything we got to get our boys to where they at. Right. It ain't nothing given to us. It ain't nothing that, we get extra. There ain't no funding coming from nowhere. We get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to know that. So when we step out on the field, we not doing it just because of the name on our jersey. We doing it because it's a grind and the process that we went through to get here. And I just, I give it up to my boys for sticking through all the stuff that they had to endure the hard time. And the last thing, I just lost one of my freshman players Saturday to a car accident. So our team and our heart's heavy for little Bobby when we'll be playing for him Friday. So it's just that love of him and what he meant to our boys and the team. To lose somebody this week during Thanksgiving is tough. So we playing this game for him Friday. And that means a lot to me.
Absolutely. Coach, man, rest in peace, little Bobby. Definitely we love having you here on the Athletes Grind. That's what it's all about. We want to focus on coaches and teams that's grinding and getting out the mud. And all the best to you on Friday. Hope you can come home with the W and continue going forward in your playoff race. And Coach, we got to have you on again. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much, Coach.
For sure, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, Coach. You take care now.
All right, you too.